I'm Sean Baligian.
What up, this is Joique Bell here on the Baligian and Bell Show.
Make sure you check us out on the Woodward Sports Network.
So what is up? So glad you can join us, reunited, and it feels so good. The gang's all here.
We all back.
And there was a lot of nice this morning. Just to tell you guys, there was a lot of nice this morning. It was wonderful to see Art. It was wonderful to see Joique. I don't know how wonderful it was to see me, but there was a lot of peace and love and tranquility this morning. Arthur, how you doing, buddy?
I'm alive, so that's good. Happy to be back. Thank you guys for holding down the fort for me, and keeping things going. No, it's great to be back. So
no, are you feeling okay?
Yeah. I mean, I could sit here and whine and complain about it, but that's not going to do nothing. So no, I'm good. A little sore, a little rough, but yeah, we made it.
It's all good. You know what? It was hard. So for people who don't know, Art was out there on the streets for a while. He, Art belongs to the streets. So,
oh, he's still doing this
remember,
narrative.
Hold on, Art. Raise your hand now. We talk about this.
Here we go.
We did talk about this. It's great to have Art back. Art called me. He apologized for some of the stuff that happened. I went to the people in power. I said, listen, I know we negotiated not having Art on the show, but we made amends. Let's get him back. I think every man deserves a second chance, and so we was able to negotiate it. Art's back on the show. He's healthy, and we got Sean back, and so this is the first time we've all been back in about a month.
For real, it is. I mean, think about it. It was,
yeah. And then
it's crazy.
The great part about this, we're gonna have our 100th episode together.
Aww.
It's coming up.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, look, hey, put it on Art.
Art's already, look at, he's already tearing up.
Art, you are really pale.
Yeah.
Art, you are really pale.
I lost a lot of weight.
Well, you know what was funny? We were all talking about that. I think combined, what did we lose? Like 60 pounds or something silly like that? Yeah, we
only lost 10.
I lost 16.
You lost 16, and I lost about 13, 14.
Wow, isn't that crazy?
I think I lost about 13, 14.
Isn't that crazy? My goodness.
But it was cool. I picked back up about 6 of it. And I'm about to drop like 20 more. So hit me again.
Thank you, Jenna and Lynn and many other people for your kind words to me as well. Appreciate it greatly. Very quickly, my father passed away on Wednesday night. And if you didn't know, he was sick for a long time. He fought and fought and fought and fought, and mercifully, he's out of pain now. And you think you're ready for it, like I told you this morning, Joique. You think you're ready for it.
You're never ready.
You're never ready for it. You're never. You make peace. You have wonderful conversations. You tell that person how much they mean to you, but he's still your father.
Still.
So. Yeah. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. Thank you. I know my dad would want me to be back. I could hear my dad's voice all day yesterday saying, "What are you people doing, sitting around? You're not doing anything. Go work. Go make some money." I could hear my dad's voice all day. But thank you from the bottom of my heart, not only to all the people that I work with, but so many of you out there took the time out of your busy schedule just to say that you were thinking about us, and it means the world. So thank you. Thank you very, very much. I love my father very much, and it's weird. Art, I told you, and Joique, I'll tell you the same thing. It feels like part of you's gone. It really does. It like part of me is just gone, because this is somebody obviously I knew my whole life. But you know what? He's out of pain. He's in paradise right now, And that's wonderful. So thank you very much. And we are going to have a big show today. As a matter of fact, I believe our guest is joining us right now. He was a big part of the Renaissance around here. I don't think, Joique, guys like you and our guest understand what a renaissance it was when you both kind of burst on the scene, because you both kind of burst on the scene around the same time. You know, he was there for the whole 2011 season. You came after that, but it was so dark for so long around here that when that 2011 season came around and the Lions had a chance to book their own ticket into the playoffs on that Christmas Eve. And I told you that was like a magical day to me. I'm serious.
What year was this?
2011. And
right when I got here.
And they, you know, all you have to do just beat the Chargers, and you don't have to back in. And they went out there and they smashed the Chargers that day. I know to you guys as competitors, you know, you're just like, hey man, I'm doing my job. We're supposed to be there. For us as fans, we were finally over that long nightmare, and this guy was a big part of changing things around here, to be sure. Let's welcome him in, Stephen Tulloch, kindly joining us on Baligian and Bell this Friday morning. And first of all, Stephen, really appreciate you taking the time. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. First, I want to say condolences to you.
Thank you.
I know that feeling, man. I lost my dad December 20th, and it's always hard to really understand the magnitude when you lose a parent unless you lost one. So, my condolences to you and your family and what you're going through at this time, and my prayers are with you, my man.
Appreciate you, man, really, and right back at you. You're right. You don't understand it until it happens. So much love to you, as well as I'm sure the grieving process is still going on for you. But you know, Stephen, let's talk about your decision to come here to Detroit, because I was just saying before you came on, man, this is a franchise that was deep and dark in the wilderness, and you needed players of your caliber to say, hey, we're going to give Coach Schwartz a chance, or we're going to give Detroit a chance. Talk about that time for you before you came here to Detroit in the summer of 2011.
Well, when I came in the summer of 2011, it was a lockout year. So a lot of uncertainty, not sure in what direction things were going with the NFL and whatnot. And so when gates opened up early August, everyone was scrambling, trying to get onto a team. It was kind of one of the worst times to be a free agent, just because there wasn't a time to kind of go through the process. But nevertheless, Coach Schwartz called me initially. I had a couple of teams in mind that I was interested in going to, but a lot of love and respect for Coach Schwartz and what he's done for me early in my career in Tennessee with the Titans. And I knew I knew his mindset, what he was trying to build. He had guys like Kyle Vandenbosch, guys who I looked up to, and I felt comfortable coming to Detroit. A lot of uncertainty in Detroit. I've heard a lot of things about them before I got there. I know the 0-16 season and whatnot, but one thing I did know is it's a blue-collar city, and for Coach Schwartz to reach out to me, it meant a lot. He expressed the magnitude of him wanting me to be a part of the Lions, and when I got to Detroit, I just fell in love with the city and the organization from day one, and the rest is history.
Look at that. My guy Tully, man, what's up?
What's going on, my man?
What's going on? You at the office? Yeah, are you at the coffee shop?
Yeah, I'm at the office right now. So
right, so
stepping away to talk with you.
I appreciate it. Man of many businesses right now. So it's funny. I talked to Sean, and I talked to the guys a lot about guys who transition out of the league very well. And you're one of those guys. And so I'm always happy to see some of the things you're doing down there in Fort Lauderdale, where you are. And I was able to go down there and check out his home. And when I tell you he has a beautiful home on the water. Beautiful.
Hey, relax,
beautiful. And Tully is low key. He's a humble guy on camera, but he will let you know some of the things that he's doing. He's not afraid to let you know. So it was cool to go check out his home, and he invited me over. We played a little bit of pool. But real quick, before you left Detroit, you left Detroit before the Matt Patricia era. Were there certain things you heard about the players with Coach Patricia while you were gone? With some of the guys we played with before?
Well, a lot of mixed signals. I think, obviously, when you have a guy like Coach Caldwell, which is probably, out of my 27 years of playing, one of the greatest persons I've ever been around in my life, from a father figure, a mentor, a person that you can really count on to lead you in the right direction, and a person of his word, and a person that treats you like a man, as you know, Joique. So, obviously, I left and went to Philly, for my last year. Patricia came in right after I retired. But a lot of mixed signals with a lot of guys, as you know, a lot of veteran guys especially who've been around and had the opportunity to have a guy like Coach Caldwell, speak to us on, the two Wednesday meetings were, and how he spoke to us and how we just got geared up to hear his message and how it motivated us and how he treated us, number one. So a lot of guys were kind of, at odds or felt a little indifferent about, the new coaching staff and how things were handled with that situation. And, I continuously got phone calls or text messages from other guys that were currently on the team about how things were going and how much of a change it was with Coach Patricia. I'm not here to talk bad about anybody, but I definitely know that it was a night and day situation for a lot of players, and it took a lot of adjusting for players to kind of grasp. But I think the team right now is going in a good direction. They made some necessary changes, and I'm excited as a fan now and as a former player of the Lions to see kind of how this thing shapes out.
Yeah, it's I had this question from one of the guys at the studio, so I said, because they asked me the same question. I was like, let me ask Tully, because I kind of know we kind of cut a little bit from the same cloth. Mine's a little bit thicker, but real quick.
Okay.
but real quick, did you, when you were in Philly, were you there with Slay at all a little bit, or he came right after you left, right after you retired?
So Slay came right after I left. So
right.
They went to the Super Bowl, the year after I left, and then I think Slay came the year after that.
Okay, and so what would you? And I'm just asking. They told me so I got to ask you because I'm kind of interested in knowing too. So what would have happened if Matt Patricia said to you what he said to Slay? So reportedly, Slay told ESPN that after he was traded to the Lions, traded from the Lions, Patricia told him to stop jocking another man. How would you respond to that if he told you that in front of the team?
I think me being, a captain of the team, number one, and at that point probably a 10, 11-year veteran, I would probably have to stand up and say something in front of the team. I think the team knows my character and how I handle myself day-to-day on and off the field. And, when somebody, kind of challenges you or questions your manhood or, whatnot, or question you as a man in front of a setting like a team, I would feel some kind of way about it. I'll probably do it respectfully, number one. But I think I'd have to, address it in front of the team at that moment. Not to be disrespectful, but to know that I put a lot of time and effort into this league. I've sacrificed a lot for this team and organization. And, for someone to come in there and not know too much about me as a man, to assume or make assumptions, I'll definitely feel some kind of way about it. I think Slade, had a lot of composure and holding it in. Slade's probably one of the best corners to come out of the Lions in many years, and a lot of respect for him. And as you know how Slay is, we're both New Year's Day babies, right? He's a go-getter. So,
sure.
So for him to compel himself and to hold the manner in which he did and not release that statement until after he left, it speaks a lot to the value of character, who he is. But he's better than me. I don't think I'd be able to hold my tongue in that matter. I think I'd have to address it in front of the team and kind of pull Patricia aside and just kind of have a one-on-one talk with him. But he definitely handled it in a good manner.
Yeah, for sure. So,
Stephen, I wanted to ask you, I have heard so many, including your boy Joique here, talk up Coach Caldwell like you wouldn't believe. And, hey, did the team get to where we all wanted it to be? No, we didn't. We had some good moments. We can talk about what went wrong another day, but what was it about Coach Caldwell? Because, you said in your years of football, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you said in your 27 years of football, you didn't have a guy like that. How could you explain to people what Coach Caldwell meant to you and to the other 53 in that room?
You're just like a father figure. It's a man that treated everyone the same. I didn't care if you were Matt Stafford or you were the 53rd man on the roster. Everyone was, dealt with in the same matter. Transparency, I believe, even in my business today, I think transparency is key. You say what you're going to do what you're going to say. Treat people with respect. No matter you're the janitor or who you are, you always respect people and live in gratitude. And that's who he was and who he is as a person of gratitude and respect, and across the board from front office down to the bottom person. And just a lot of love and respect. On a day-to-day basis. A knowledgeable man that gives us insight just about not about football but about life and how to carry yourself and how to conduct yourself on and off the field, and supporting charity events for different players, and just a man that goes above and beyond for his players and his team and his staff. And this a lot of the tools that he exemplified when I played with the Lions, I carried over to my business here now with Circle House Coffee. Is treating people with respect, treating your customers consistently, producing, showing up, giving it all you have day in, day out. And that's what he exemplified to the team. Although things didn't quite go as well as we wanted to, I think it was treading in the right direction, considering the circumstances that he was dealt with. But when I tell you a man of character, integrity, I haven't met many people like Coach Caldwell, and I'm just glad to have the opportunity to have been around him and have the opportunity for him to coach me for the time he did.
Stephen Tulloch kindly joining us here, Baligian and Bell. I know we have a special guest to ask a question in a second. And obviously, we want to hear about what's going on in your life as well. Joique, you let me know when that special guest wants to come up and ask a question. Yeah, he's. I think he's debating. Oh, you want him to come up now, Joique?
You ready?
All right, come on up. Yeah, Stephen, we have a special guest that wants to ask you a question, so I believe he's on with us now.
What's up? Go ahead right here. Okay, you got it. I'm sorry, sir.
Back when you were in the NFL, who were your top 5 QBs that you enjoyed sacking? I can't hear them. I don't know who I'm talking to.
There's a couple of them. I had an opportunity to get Cam Newton. That was one of those processes that he's a big man to bring down. Who else? Like Tony Romo. There's an onslaught of them. It's crazy. I didn't have many of them. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers was a big one too, but I didn't have many sacks. I probably had about 14 or 15 in my career. Coach really didn't blitz me much. I had to vacate my assignments to get to the quarterback. But I think those are some of the top ones I remember. It's been about 4 years since I played. Doing 11 years is a lot of games. So those are some good ones.
Steven, what's unbelievable? I had a chance to do some pregame coverage for Fox 2 for years, and so what happens is where we shoot is on the side of the field where the visitors are, and you mentioned right. Cam Newton. What people don't understand, Steven, is how big that dude is. He came walking by, and you see him from 15 feet away, and I'm thinking to myself, all right, that's a linebacker or whatever. That is a big man. That's what I think people don't understand is you're going after some big men out there. They look so small on television, but my man is wide.
Yeah, they massive. The quarterback.
Yeah, I think Cam is one of the bigger quarterbacks I've played against. I think Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, I would say Ben. I thought Ben might.
Ben was Brian Leftwich was a big guy too.
He was.
But Cam Newton is probably the most athletically, physically sound quarterback I've ever played against, and man, what a specimen.
So real quick, I had a question for you. So you're still close with the organization, and with the changes that are being made, would you like to be one of those voices to help influence this team going farther into the future?
I just love. I love Detroit. I love the Lions. I wear my mask around, my Detroit Lions mask around. I have my license plate tag. I'm a Lions groupie, I guess you want to say. I just got a lot of love for the city and the fans and organization, and I think more so the fans. Just how loyal they are through the ups and downs of the years that I've been there, and even previous years before that. I just want to see the organization win. I think we all do. It's time. I think the city deserves it. The fan base deserves it. They've been. How many times have we been around the city and people come up to us? I've been a fan for 58 years. My dad just take me to the Silver Dome. It's just you hear those stories year in, year out, and I think this organization, these fans deserve a winning team and deserve a chance to make it to the playoffs and potentially the Super Bowl. I really believe that. I think this is the most change I've seen since I've been in the organization, top to bottom, that the team has made. They're showing a level of commitment like none ever before, And so I think, you know, we're optimistic. You know, it's going to take a little time. It's not going to happen overnight, but I think the Ford family realizes that, you know, it's time. You know, it's time to really go all in, put all the chips on the table and see what happens. And I'm excited about the moves that were made this offseason and some of the players or some of the coaches now that I watched as players growing up as a kid. Now, you know, obviously being on the coaching staff, so I'm excited to kind of see how that pans out. But I think there's good things ahead for us, and I think the fans have a lot to be optimistic about.
For sure. And this is how big of a fan he is. He even has the Honolulu blue for his Circle House coffee shop color. I love it.
Yeah.
Can you see the logo?
This is the actual logo here. So I don't know what, you know, Joique's talking about.
I'm looking at your shirt. I'm sorry. I'm looking at your shirt right there. Yeah,
oh, the shirt. Okay.
Yeah. You see
so it's a royal blue, but it's close enough.
It's close enough. It's close enough. All right. You know what though? It's funny because me and Tully, we have this thing. We go back and forth, and we get personal, and so we get real personal. And so he has that grin on his face because he know, like, we're really holding back right now. Because
I'm waiting.
He's waiting. We're waiting for it, right? And
I
this
got
is
the defense mechanism up.
Yeah, he has it. So it's funny because I remember this. I don't care how long it was. It could be 20 years. I'll never forget this. Me and Tully was going back and forth in the locker room, in the training room. And Bill Bentley was a part of it for a second. And then me and Tully, we took the knife and we saw it going deep.
Oh, we did?
Bill Bentley said, I can't play with y'all like that. I can't. He said, I can't do it. He says, y'all got it. You know, so it's funny. Every time, like, I'm around with, like, my son or my daughter, and Tully would come out, hey, how's my kids doing?
Yeah.
Every time, right? And I come back, and I'm not gonna say what I usually say, but you know, I'll talk a little junk, and then, but I'll come back and say, well, where's your kids? He's like, you know, I don't got no kids, man. I say, what, the soldiers ain't marching? Right. Soldiers ain't marching.
They're marching.
Oh man, they ain't marching.
Make it right.
Yeah, they ain't marching.
But you know what I would say. I don't mean to cut you off, Joique, man. Like, you know, although we have those things, and you know, you and I are competitors, man. You remind me a lot of myself, and the fact that you've always been told you weren't good enough. You're 40, your band, whatever it is, wasn't always, you know, to par with what scouts want to see. But you know, your work ethic and not my work ethic is something that we prided ourselves on, going against each other on one-on-ones and practice and games, and just, you know, it's just something that, you know, I have a lot of respect for you, man. You know, hearing your story, you know, going to, you know, college and being a security guy and never giving up your dreams and almost getting cut, and us having that conversation and you coming back and balling out against Washington, and just how your career progressed and how you became a fan favorite. But it goes to show, you know that will to never give up and want to keep working hard and let the naysayers say that, you know, that you can't do certain things, but motivate yourself to keep proving them wrong. And even to this day, outside of the league, you know, I'm impressed with your show that you have going on and what you're doing. So a lot of respect to you as you keep grinding like you did on the field. So
I appreciate that. So it's funny. So what he was referring to, almost got cut, Sean, was when 2012, right? And we were all together in the Players Lounge. And when you're in training camp, you have meetings upon meetings, and then practice, and then the weight room, and then more meetings. And so you have like a split, you know, you might have 15, 20 minutes here and there between practice and grabbing something to eat and then going to the next meeting. And so it had to be about 12 to 14 guys in the Players Lounge, and we had special team meetings coming up. But we had about a good 20 minutes. So I took like a 10-minute nap, and I woke up to a phone call. It was Galen Duncan. He was the player. He was the player developer, and he said, "Joique," and I had my headphones in. I said, "What's up, coach?" What's up, Duncan? He said, "Where you at?" I said, "I'm in the Players Lounge." He's like, the meeting started, and I woke up and I looked around. All of my teammates were gone out of there. Nobody tapped me. And said, "Come on." I said, "Oh, this is really, you know, me for me. Like, I just got to look," and that's when I got my first introduction. Like, make sure you don't depend on anybody, just depend on yourself. And so I get to the meeting. The coach asked where I was. I said, "Sorry, coach, I took a nap. I fell asleep. I overslept." He said, "Okay." The next meeting, he took me off of all of the special teams. And Tully came to me in the hallway. He said, "What happened?" And this is like later on in the day. probably like another day or so when he saw it. And I told him, like, I fell asleep. I was late for a meeting. And then I talked to, at the time, my running back coach, and I said, Coach, what happened? He asked me what happened. I told him what happened. And I said, should I go, go talk to him one-on-one, apologize? And, he said, no, that's just, going to make it a bigger distraction. Just leave it alone. It'll blow over. Tully catches me in the hallway and says, listen, he said, what happened? They took you off. And he was worried. He was like, what happened? And I told him, he said, did you apologize to him? And I said, well, they told me not to. Who told you that? Who told? Who told? I said, on the running back coach. She said, man, you better go apologize to that man. Your exact words. You better go apologize to that man. So that same day I went up to his office. He wasn't there. Went the next day. He wasn't there. I would come in extra early. This particular morning, I think I got there about 5:45, 6, and they had the lights on, the emergency lights on, because the lights weren't on yet for the, I guess for the day. And so I actually caught him coming out of the cafeteria by himself, caught him by the elevator, and then we talked briefly, and I told him, like, listen, I apologize for being late. That's not my character. It'll never happen again, and I apologize. And he looked me in my eyes and said, I respect that. I appreciate that. He hopped on the elevator, went upstairs, and that same day he put me back first string on all the special teams. All right. Yep. And so that's when, all right, that same day. And so that's when I first got to the team. I didn't really have a name, so my only way onto the team was through special teams. And actually, me and Tully, we talked about this the other day because something was supposed to happen. And Martin May, you said, no, we're not gonna do that. We worked too hard to get him here. All right.
Yeah,
so
they're trying to get you out of there.
Yeah, they were trying to get me. They were trying to cut me that day for being late.
No kidding.
Yeah, but Martin May, you said, no, we're not cutting him. We worked too hard to get him here. Yeah. No way. And so they didn't cut me. And so the following year, it's kind of the game that he's talking about, the Washington game, was when I had my first start in the NFL, and then our first win in D.C. The rest is history.
Awesome. That's great stuff. Yeah. Hey, Tully, will you take me back to that day, that Christmas Eve game against San Diego? Because, I told Joique, for fans, and you made reference to this earlier, I mean, everything that had happened the previous few years, 0-16, was still fresh to a lot of people. And I don't think anybody thought that you guys were going to turn it around as quickly as you did that year, and kind of culminating to what happened on Ford Field on Christmas Eve. What do you remember about that day?
I just remember that whole year, right? Obviously, we're coming out of a lockout. There's a bunch of new guys. We're getting Durant, Justin Durant, a couple new linebackers here. We were plugging in, but there was a sense of belief on that team that year. We had a great quarterback. Obviously, we had one of the best players that ever played the game in Calvin. Our defense was strong. We had some young players, Sue and whatnot, and a secondary that was pretty strong with Delmas and Chris Houston. I mean, we were priming up for a great season, and lo and behold, we're able to put ourselves in a position where we control our own destiny. We knew that Christmas Eve game was a special one. Number one, not just for the organization, but for the fans and for the city of Detroit. And we're one game away from controlling our own destiny. So, I mean, that night was an amazing night. Obviously, going against the Chargers, my college quarterback, Phillip Rivers, on NC State, a smack talker, a guy that talks all game, as you know. But to win that game, and it's the first time I've ever beat Phillip in my career, that game. And so it was special. Number one, to beat him. Number one, to finally break the curse of a 10-year curse of getting to the playoffs. It was just a special moment. I remember us walking around the stadium after the game and just high-fiving the fans and the excitement of the fans and how much it meant to them, and how the city was just electrified and on fire for us to make it to the playoffs. And that's what I'm saying. I think we're missing that. We can get that on a continuous basis where we're a playoff team continuously year in and year out. I think it do so much for the city of Detroit, so much for the fan base. Like I said, I'm excited about what's going to transpire here over the next couple of years. Hopefully, let's get back to that point again.
Yeah. So, speaking of getting back to that point, the Lions are at the number 7 pick in the NFL draft this year. What direction do you want to see us go? If you have any thoughts at all.
I think, obviously I'm not in the front office. There's so many moving parts, right? Me speaking from a fan perspective, right? I think obviously losing a guy like Calvin Johnson and Golden Tate, which are electrifying players, and obviously Galladay going to the Giants, I think you have to, as me, just as a fan and watching the Lions, I think you have to go receiver or big time. We have a nice tight end already. You spent the first round draft pick on. You have a proven quarterback coming from LA, from the LA Rams. You have some great draft picks on the table. I think, getting a couple nice receivers to complement what you currently have now, I think will take a lot of pressure off of, the tight end position, the quarterback position, to have an outlet. But to have a number one receiver, which is very hard to find in this league, and being in a tough division is key right now. I don't see a true number one on the team that can take the top off the defense. And I think that's in this league, you have to have that in order to have a successful team to move forward. So I would be, as a fan, excited to hear a nice receiver come off the board at that pick.
This guy, I'm telling you, Mr. Wood, if you're listening, it sounds like the guy that could work for a franchise. Yeah. And Tully, I tell you what, the way you break it down, if you ever want to join the dark side like Joique has, there's a job for you in this business, man. You can break it down.
Break it down.
Yeah, I love the game. I'm a fan of the game.
Yeah, fan of the game. So with the changes that are being made right now with the Lions, which part of you would like to play for this new regime, if any?
I think just having a player coach, right? It's different. I mean, all coaches are great. Some have knowledge, X's and O's, and it's amazing to hear. So I have some great coaches that didn't play the game, but understand the X's and O's. But I think from a player perspective, right? When you have a guy who's been in the trenches with you and understand what it is to be an athlete, what it is to be a professional athlete, how to take care of yourself, and can relate on different situations and games that they've played in, you have a different level of understanding. And I think being able to bring a guy like Mark Brunell and Glenn and all these, Staley and, these legendary players who I grew up watching, Campbell, who played for the Lions, I think a lot of these guys understand what it is to be a professional athlete. They played at the highest level for a long period of time. They understand what players are looking for, with transparency in which they're looking for, the consistency in which what they're looking for. I think it builds camaraderie amongst the group and the team that, you have somebody who's been there through that battle with you. And I see that across the board on this staff. And I think a lot of guys can relate to it and truly understand where these coaches are coming from, because they've been there. A lot of experience, a lot of knowledge. And that's why I'm optimistic about, this coaching staff, the fact that, they bring that to the table. And guys, especially younger guys that they're revamping or quote unquote somewhat rebuilding the team, that I think guys will take heed to understand that, where these coaches are coming from and trusting that they're being put in a great position to succeed. And I'm kind of geared up. I might come out of retirement and play extra backer and play, 4th and 1 and 3rd and short situations and see if I can plug a gap still.
Man, those knees ain't working like they used to.
That knowledge is.
That knowledge is, yeah, right. So we saw you kind of point to your shirt, the Circle House Coffee. Tell us a little bit about that, and do you ever think about opening up a location here in Detroit?
Oh man, wow. Circle House Coffee. I started about 2 years ago here in South Florida. We're going to our second location now here this summer here in South Florida as well. I'd love to have it in Detroit, maybe at Ford Field or right around the Woodward area. But it's been a blessing. I have a great team of people, staff members, and just top to bottom employees who believe in the brand, what we're trying to do here, and giving back one sip at a time, and really taking on the community with my foundation being involved in the brand with Circle House Coffee. It's been I've had to pinch myself. It's been a long ride, ups and downs, a lot of trials and tribulations, but with the right mindset and the right work ethic and the right belief in staff and the culture, anything's possible. So things are definitely heading in the right direction. I'm most proud of my staff and the consistency that they bring to the table every day, and our customers enjoying what we have here, and it gives me a lot of confidence to open up another location, being that we've been successful through this pandemic and we're growing at a good rate. And so looking forward to potentially being in Detroit and a bunch of other cities across the country here in the near future. But we're definitely trending in the right direction, and we have a good team, so we'll see what happens. You
talk about your Circle House Coffee and your charity. And you still remain active in Detroit. Do you guys have anything happening in Detroit right now, or something coming up in the future? Do you see?
Yeah, so obviously, breast cancer is a huge part of my charity foundation, and we've had the Angels of Hope event for many years in Detroit. I think my last year I did it was 2017. Obviously, the pandemic kind of threw a wrench in a lot of things, but I'm definitely looking forward to getting back to Detroit and stay in the community. The Lions support my foundation year in and year out by donating, so it keeps my foundation going, and I'm able to do things for Detroit Public Schools. So once things settle back down, I'd love to get back to Detroit during the season to visit some of these public schools and get this Angel of Hope cancer event back up and running again. We also have a athletes adopting family event in December for families that are dealing with cancer and can't pay their bills. We try to provide them a Christmas. So gearing up those things in the near future, I think that's something that I really would love to do and just anticipating on doing once this pandemic kind of slows down and we can get back into traveling and Ford Field's open up again, is implementing that into my plan with Circle House and my foundation.
Sure.
Great stuff. Class act. Stephen, somebody wanted to ask. Kenny said, Stephen, after watching Coach Campbell's press conferences, getting people fired up, do you want to suit back up and start biting some kneecaps and eating some kneecaps? Have you seen some of his press conferences and how he's gotten fired up? Because I'll tell you what, he's firing up this fan base something fierce.
I can appreciate it, especially a person that has played on the team, understands what it means to play for the Lions and what the fan base wants and what everybody's gearing for. Hearing the same old Lions speech. He's like myself. We're tired of hearing the same old Lions speech. It's time. The time is now. And for a player that's played on the team for many years or understands what the organization is about, he's tired of hearing it as well. And so for him to bring that intensity and that attitude day one, he's setting the bar at this level. And so whoever's on board or whoever's not on board won't be there long. Whoever's on board will be able to kind of run with the team as they continue to make that move and progress. But I'm excited about what Coach Campbell has talked about so far. I'm excited about the moves the general manager has made, the relationship that Coach Campbell and the general manager have together to be able to communicate. Communication is key. It sounds like they're on the same page when it comes to making the right moves. And like I said, this is probably the most excited I've been about the changes since Caldwell, departing, the team has made.
Great stuff.
Great
Anything
stuff.
else for your boy?
Yeah. So you have so many ventures you have going on right now. What's next for you? What's next for Stephen Tulloch?
Wow. Oh, man. There's so many things in the works. There's so many things that I'm working on. Right now, I do a lot of engagement, speaking conferences with different teams. Right now, I'm working with the Dolphins, helping their team, doing some speaking engagements here in Florida. I think for me, it's just I want to mentor as many players as I can. I'm just tired of the statistic of, 78% of players going broke 5 years outside the league. I think it's time for us to get financial, get that financial literacy to understand how to manage our money, how to take care of our situation while we're playing. And so as we transition over to the real world, we're in a better position. And so that's my goal right now. Now, outside of Circle House Coffee, is to kind of mentor younger players, open my doors here at Circle House Coffee for players to come by, communicate, give my number out to guys' emails, just to kind of open up that dialogue so we can better prepare ourselves for transition. And I'm just tired of seeing guys with, obviously next month, May being National Mental Health Month. Yeah. A lot of guys suffer from that. So our coffee shop here at Circle House and the Stephen Tulloch Foundation are going to kind of gear up for that and kind of help with mental health. But the biggest thing I think now for players is mental health and money and financial. So just trying to find a way to be that liaison, that gap to bring players close to understanding how to manage both of those things. So that's kind of my goal is to leave that legacy behind and to make an impact the best I can.
Yeah, so it's a lot of people out who feels and believes that when you're playing ball, when you're playing football, you should just focus on that. How big is it to you? I've talked about it on the show before, but I want to get your perspective on it. On starting or start dabbling in business while you're playing versus waiting until after you're done playing.
Well, I think, number one, I've never been a fan of getting in business while you played. I was married to the game of football since the age of 6 years old, right? That my main focus was playing ball, getting good grades so I can play ball. I think as a player, you want to more so, gear yourself, be conservative as you can as possible. So when you make that transition, you can make it smoothly. I had the opportunity to take advantage of the NFL entrepreneurship courses while I played NFL in the offseason. which for me was a life-changing situation. Going to Stanford University, going to University of Michigan, Stephen Ross School of Business, going to University of Miami Business School in the off-season. Those programs geared me up for moments like this, right? It geared me up to understand, how to protect your money, how to do checks and balances, what franchising looks like, what, real estate looks like, and to better understand as I get ready to year 9, year 10, year 11, as I transition, that I have a plan in place to make that move and be able to put myself and my family in the best position to win. I had an opportunity to go to coffee school in Seattle Barista Academy out in California, to learn the business of coffee. So just different things like that to gear myself up for transition. I think a lot of guys need to understand that in the off season, yes, you train and you work out, but you got to prepare like tomorrow's not going to be here with your career. And so I think the NFL is trying to do a better job. I know this year I had an opportunity to speak with the University of Michigan School of Business NFL entrepreneurship course, and we had about 130 guys on the call, which is by far the most we've ever had at any business school, which we're averaging about 20, 21 guys a year, which is, we have 1,600 players in the league and only 21 guys show up to this event. So the fact that we're able to get them on Zoom this year and get about 130 guys, it speaks that guys want that knowledge. A lot of guys are scared to kind of communicate with the league when they leave because, number one, they don't leave on good terms. They feel embarrassed at how they left or they don't like the NFL for whatever reason. But, we had an opportunity to play in this league, and it's not given, it's earned. And so no matter if you're here for 11 years or 20 years in the league, you still have the opportunity to be there. So take advantage of the resources and your networks that you have while you're playing. And so just trying to, that's basically kind of how I approach it when it comes to, preparing and managing life after football.
All right. Yeah.
What a great dude. Steven, seriously, I mean, I hope everybody takes that, takes that away from this conversation. You're a guy that just continues to give back, not only to the game that you love, but to the community as well. And you're always going to be a Detroiter, whether you like it or not. And anything you ever need from here in Detroit, we always got your back, man. You are just a Class A individual, and I appreciate you.
Blue-collar guy. Blue-collar. I had to get him on the show. Had to get him out here.
Well, thanks so much for joining us, Steven.
I appreciate it. Again, condolences to you and your family. Joique, man, always love, man. Love you, bro. And you guys keep doing your thing. Hopefully this show keeps growing. Love watching it. I follow it on Instagram. So you guys doing a good job. And shout out to your sponsors and everybody that supports you guys.
For sure. Now, don't be late for that 11:45 meeting. We're getting you off right on time.
Yeah, I'm about to get on it right now.
Yeah, I know.
But a lot of love, man. You guys stay easy.
Lots of love to you. Stephen Tulloch kindly joining us here on Baligian and Bell. What a great dude.
Man, he's great, man.
What a great dude.
Man, you know what, man? Me and Tully, we had, like I said, when I played, he was linebacker, but he was probably one of the I was close with a lot of guys. I was really close with Tully.
Yeah.
All right. So me and Tully always had a great relationship, along with a few other guys. So it was great to have him on. So before we go to break, I want to tell you about Northwestern Tech. Start a new career in the industry that is always essential, the heating and cooling industry. Learn more today by visiting northwesterntech.edu. Joique Bell, Sean Baligian, Baligian the Bell Show. Stay tuned.
Street Exchange, downtown Fenton. I'm trying to find me a shirt. Ooh, look at these swimming shorts. What are you doing over there, Stick?
I'm trying to find me a drink. Ooh, look at these bonfire bitters.
Ready for summer.
Let's go.
All right, welcome back in. So glad you could join us. Thanks again to Stephen Tulloch for joining us. Just a great guy. And, boy, I tell you what, it'd be great to see a couple of great guys like you and Stephen Tulloch be part of the franchise for many years.
We're all part of the franchise.
You know what I'm saying.
You know what? So when we had that conversation, when I went to the coach luncheon, and me and Miss Ford sat down and spoke briefly, after kind of going back and forth for a while, she told me that if I had any ideas, to make sure I come into the office to sit down and have a conversation. So her doors are always open for guys like me and Stephen Tulloch. So we are part of the team. We are part of the family. I love what they're doing now as far as reaching out to some of the former players that are still in the area and bringing us in and making us feel like we're welcome. And I know that we always had some guys had issues with that before, but now I think they're really starting to start partnership with a lot of the players that are still in the area. So I'm excited about it, and like I said, I love what the new regime is doing. I love the approach that they're taking, and I don't think it'll be a better person for the job.
Doesn't shock me at all when you like listening to Steven and you know, remembering when he was here and everything. It doesn't shock me at all that you guys became close because you know, and I'm just going to probably embarrass you, but you're a lot alike. You look beyond the football field, you know, and that's one thing I've seen out of you for many years is you've always kind of felt like the caretaker around Wayne State, and you were the Pied Piper, and you always came back and checked up on people. And what people don't know about you is all the things that you got going on as well in the community, whether it be foundation, giving back, whatever the case may be.
Are you still coming up?
Whatever you need from me, you know that.
Okay.
Whatever you need from me.
Right. But as we get closer and closer to the charity weekend, we're going to start pubbing it on the show. And anyone who wants to be a part of it, please go to joiqueball.com. You can go through all the different events we're having. The weekend is from June 17th to June 20th. You look at the mission statement and look what we're trying to accomplish because, honestly, the kids in my community and other communities around Michigan and even around the country, they need this. And I want to kind of make Benton Harbor the next stepping stool and then get the blueprint from there and then take this around the country because I really feel we really need this program, which is a literacy program that I want to bring to my community, and we're that close to getting the number that we want. So if you guys want to donate, just go to joiqueball.com. If you want to sponsor a golf outing, you can go on there as well. Everything is on there, and we are quick to get back in touch with you. So please go take a look, joiqueball.com.
Couple questions. Somebody said, Joique, isn't that not normal? I always heard that offense kind of stuck with offense and defense kind of stuck with defense.
We're a team.
Yeah.
I was actually close. I mean, I was just as close with the defensive players as I was the offensive players.
Yeah.
So, if not closer, like Ziggy, like D-Line, Tulloch, DeAndre Levy, Tierra Whitehead, Josh Bynes. So, a lot of these guys I still keep in touch with. These are all defensive players. And we still talk to this day consistently, either through social media or through text. I still, reach out to Slay from time to time. We tap in with one another and make sure he's doing all right. And then offensively, I still tap in with, like I said, Reggie. I just talked to Theo a couple of days ago. And so I keep in touch with a lot of the guys because I'm a firm believer that, like, if I play with you and I call you my brother when I play with you, I want to know how you're doing once we're done playing.
That's awesome.
And even guys that you even trained with that you didn't play with, that you built relationships with.
Yeah. Because
this is a fraternity, honestly. We got to look out for one another.
I know you've said it before, and in case you missed it, Stephen Tulloch was so gracious with his time with us. But one of the things that he talked about, and I know that this is something near and dear to your heart, is the guys that come into the league, and you think, hot damn, I'm an NFLer, I'm taken care of for life. And it doesn't work that way. And I know that's something near and dear to your heart. I've heard you say that to me before. And hearing Tully say it, it's like, is there something we can do, like league-wide or city-wide, to help guys? Because the routine, Joique. People, I would think that way.
Yeah.
I'm in the NFL. I'm taking care of them life. Well, it doesn't work that way.
And so it's like this as well. So me and Tully, we taught business before. And sometimes our philosophies are different. Like, he doesn't want you to start a business, or he wants you to prep yourself to be able to start a business once you're done playing. I'm a firm believer in, no, you can start a business while you're playing.
Okay.
Like I started my real estate company my third year in the NFL with buying my first property. You just have to make sure you have people around you to make sure that they're doing the work and make sure you can, tap in and check in on the numbers and making sure everything, the check and balances, everything is right. All right. So you have to just build a team around you to kind of help you navigate your way and kind of handle the business during the off season. During the season, and when the off season, you have more time to kind of put your hands in. And so for me, I had a great team around me. Now, I wouldn't suggest starting a business if you don't have a good team around you, because there's a lot of things that go into it. But for me, all the programs that he's talking about with the business program when I went to the Ross Business School of University of Michigan.
Yeah. Yep.
It was right. It was about 26 to 30 guys at that business boot camp, and I didn't understand why there wasn't more. It should have been a lot more guys utilizing this platform or this tool for once they're done playing. We need more guys being a part of these programs so they can have an idea of what they want to do when they're done, once they're done playing, and that's a part of the transition, knowing what you like and knowing what you don't like.
Isn't it funny? Because I was a late bloomer. I didn't start thinking about these things until I was after 30, and then once I started thinking about it, and applying some things to life, I tell people all the time. I mean, you know this. I've had this conversation with people around here. You're 28. I got lots of work. No, start thinking about the future today. Now. There are things that you can do. There are things that you can invest in. There are things that nest eggs that you can put down, and it's so that's something that as I've gotten older, that's near and dear to my heart, because now I'm in that generation where people are going to start in the next decade, people are going to start retiring and things like that, and it's like, have you done everything that you should be doing and everything? And thankfully I had some smart people that helped me out. You
definitely have.
Lynn asked, Joique, let me get to this. Have you heard anything about this?
Okay.
The Lions kind of passed the olive branch to Calvin Johnson, and it sounds like things are heading in the right direction. Have you heard anything else there, or what is there?
I haven't heard anything about that yet.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Let's get that in the rearview mirror, right?
I will. We'll have to we'll tap into that. Art's already on it. What's going on, Art? Are you happy to be back?
Yeah, I am. I'm happy. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm talking to you.
I am.
Put the camera on you when I'm talking to you.
No, I was in the middle of doing something with the show, so
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's nice to have you back. Chris just asked, Joique, what stadium outside of Ford Field would you say all Lion fans should make a trip to? Was there a favorite away stadium for you to play at?
That's a good question.
Can I tell you where everybody says I need to go, and I really, really want to go?
Where, Seattle?
Kansas City.
I never played at Kansas.
Yeah, everybody and their brother was
played Kansas, but you remember that was in London.
Yeah.
And it was a home game for them, and a away game for us, which we lucked up.
Yeah,
we lucked up. There's a lot of good fields.
What was Dallas like, going down to Dallas?
I would say Dallas is a club.
Yeah.
It's a club scene. It's cool. I liked it. It was fun. I love the atmosphere. That it had great energy. The part I do like is when you're walking out of the locker room, going onto the field. They have these glass bars on the side of each. On the side of both sides of the hallway.
Yeah.
And so they're partying in there. They have their drinks. They have their drinks. They're drinking. Kids are there. They're enjoying it. They see all the players there. They can't reach us because it's glass right there, but they see us coming out, and that's kind of a dope scene. And then that was dope. But if I had to choose, I'll probably keep it. I kind of like Chicago.
You had to say that, didn't you?
I had to say it. I like Chicago because I'm gonna tell you why. Because I grew up right across the lake from Chicago.
That's true.
And so a lot of my family will come to that game as well, and it was easy for them to get there. And it was a grass field, so I like playing on grass, easier on the knees. And it's crazy. When I first came into the league, the veterans would tell me they want to practice outside on the grass because they hate practicing on the turf. But I always felt the same whether it was on the turf or on the grass, so I didn't understand it until I got into my later years. And I would go practice on grass and leave practice, and my legs wouldn't hurt at all. I'll just, go throughout my day, go through my post-practice routine, and then I would practice on the turf. And I can't wear cleats. I have to, wear my turf shoes instead of cleats because it's too hard on my knees. And so it's certain things that you kind of learn throughout your career. I'm like, this is what they were talking about. And so Chicago, because they had grass and it was close to home.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I don't think maybe the average person is, what is it, probably an hour and a half from Benton Harbor to get to Soldier Field?
Yeah, about an hour and a half.
Yeah, you do that loop. You get on the Skyway, and then you're like literally dumped off right on.
Usually you take it to 94 ends.
Yeah,
you hop on 94. You hop on 94 going west and take it till it ends. You'll end up downtown. You'll end up downtown Chicago somewhere. You'll find it.
Yeah, well, that's the funny thing. I know this from
right on the lake.
Yeah, I know this from my son being at DePaul. You take that Skyway, that tollway, and it dumps you off right on Lakeshore Drive, and then the next thing you know, there's Soldier Field. Like literally right where it dumps you off. Is it 55? I don't know what the hell it is, but it dumps you like literally right on Lakeshore Drive. And then the next thing you know, here you are, there's Soldier Field, like right in front of your face. It's amazing how that works out. So some more questions out there. Yeah, 94 to Lakeshore, is as Steve said. It's what's the name of there's a, right where the expressway ends, it's the Convocation Center or whatever down there. So you get off the expressway, you make this loop, and you're on Lakeshore Drive, and then, there's Soldier Field. So I made that drive a few times in the last few years with my son living not too far away from there now. But, no, all jokes aside, you guys know how I feel about I hate the Bears. I hate the Bears. Have I mentioned that? Art, have I mentioned that? I hate the Bears.
Is there a team that you hate more than the Bears? I don't think
you
there
know
is.
what. You know what's really funny? Both the teams that I hate the most happen to be Bears. The Bruins and the Bears. Those are the two teams that I hate them. I hate them.
Do you feel that, because I'm not trying to start anything. I've only been back. Do you feel like he brought up the Chicago thing on purpose?
Yeah.
I felt like that was very much on purpose.
He knows I hate him. He knows I hate him.
Oh, I love the weather in Chicago. It's so great. And it's like, come on, Joique. What are we doing here?
Yes, let's head to the aquarium. Hi, Fish.
Oh, knocked my mic out.
We say good morning to Fish. How are you?
I'm great. One thing you got to be pissed about is on the Chicago Skyway, the Chicago traffic is terrible. It's hell.
It's awful. It's terrible. Steve lives there. Steve said 55. You're right. The McCormick Place Convention Center. You're absolutely right. That's where it dumps you out, and then you literally a mile down the road. It's like, there's Soldier Field. Soldier Field is a venerable place. All jokes aside, you know how I feel like the Bears? I would recommend seeing a game there. It looks like a spaceship now since they did some renovations, but like the pillars, like the memorial to soldiers and everything, it's awesome. It's a great. I will echo what Joique said. As much as I hate the Bears, I will echo what he said. It's a great place to see a game, but I've said this before in case you're just joining us. You better bring some clothes, okay?
Yeah.
I don't think people understand. Bring some extra clothes.
Unless it's early.
You know what? I went to a game. I still remember it was like the first week of October, and it was one of those beautiful days in Chicago. It was like 70 degrees. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was beautiful. And I was like, we're going to be fine. You go inside that stadium, that lake wind picks up.
That lake wind picks.
Dude, the temperature dropped 30 degrees. I'm sitting there like this.
Oh, yeah.
And my buddy was like, dude, you should go buy a blanket. And I was like, there's no way a bear's blanket's touching my body. I'd rather freeze to fucking death. Because I don't know if you know this, I hate the Bears.
No,
so I think I got hypothermia that day.
I think I might have heard that once or twice that you hate the Bears.
I do hate the Bears. Gosh, I hate the Bears.
Why do you hate them so bad? Is it from the 80s?
Yes, because they were what I wanted. They were like Mike Ditka's Bears. I wanted that out of my team so badly. And I got to watch them not just beat the Lions, but humiliate the Lions so many times.
What did your grandfather tell you?
My grandfather and my father, rest his soul, both said, give up on the Lions. It's a lifetime of hurt. And one day I'm going to do a little dance near both of their graves. It's going to happen. And I'm going to say, Dad, you were wrong. Grandpa, you were wrong. But gosh damn it, for 51 years, they've been right. You know, it's that rebellious streak in your son. You so badly want to tell your father, you were wrong, Dad, but gosh damn
Jordan,
it,
hold
Dad,
on, my son is here. Jordan,
right.
you feel that way? Oh, okay, You hear him? Do you feel that way, Jordan? Do you feel like one day you want to sit here and tell me, you were wrong, Dad, you were wrong? One of these days. One of these days.
Hey, I want to tell you guys about my bookie. Watching any sport is a heck of a lot more exciting when you've got a stake in the game. But regardless of why you play, you need a platform that makes it easy. At my bookie, they make it easy for you. Bet MLB regular season matches, NBA player props, and every other major event like the highly anticipated boxing match between Ben Askren and Jake Paul. Place a single wager of $20 on the fight, and you'll get a free $20 bet for UFC 261. If that isn't enticing enough, back the former Olympian's corner, and you'll get a 2-to-1 payout with a MyBookie odds boost on Askren to win the fight outright. Sign up this week with promo code Woodward to take advantage of an up to $1,000 bonus on your first deposit. That's promo code Woodward to grab yourself a free cash bonus on top of the free bets and boosted odds. Askren and Jake Paul, it's a fight that nobody asked for, but I think so many people are now all fired up about, and you won't want to miss out on this one at MyBookie. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. So glad you could join us. It is a Friday afternoon. He's Joique Bell. I'm Sean Baligian. This is Baligian and Bell.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. And at Hall Financial, we treat our clients like family. And our number one priority is giving each of our clients 5-star service. Our passion for 5-star service, combined with our expertise, allows us to find the best possible solution for refinancing your home loan. We take the time to focus on both the individual and the numbers. We're going to walk you through the process and close your loan in half the time of our competition. Go to davidhallmortgage.com today.
So I hear that today was 9 years. Is that what it is, Fish? I'm going to have to go to Fish now. 9 years ago, the great Pat Summerall passed away?
Yep, 2013.
Wow. All right, so that would be 8 years ago, right?
Sure, 8. Yep.
Yeah.
Be sure of yourself, Fish. Be
All
sure
right.
of yourself.
I'll try.
You got the great handoff. Joique. Touchdown.
I saw it coming.
So where's Maz? Maz was a big Pat Summerall. Maz should have some Pat Summerall. You know,
That's how it's done.
Maz used to get mad at me when I would have fun at Pat's expense. He did, but then I think Maz kind of understood that I did it with love. But the late Pat Summerall, he was a little rough late in his career. He was. Mm-hmm. He was a little. He got names wrong, and he.
Give me an example.
Well, there was the famous Cotton Bowl game where the kick is up. It's good. No, it isn't. Then there was, remember Dexter McCluster? Remember?
Yeah.
Pretty exciting.
Came out with me.
Yeah. Pretty exciting running back, right? He got a handoff. He was at Ole Miss, and he goes, McCluster. He's gone. No, he isn't. Yes, he is. Touchdown. It was pretty rough. I'm not going to lie to you. It was pretty rough. It was somebody had the bad idea to kind of put him in the booth one more time. And listen, your game slips, Joique. Right. It's the same thing as athletes, okay? I don't care what anybody says. You get older. As a broadcaster, your game slips. And one day somebody's going to have to come up to me, and it might be you, and go, Sean, you've been doing this dude. Time to call it a day. You know, somebody should have been kind enough to say that to Pat Summerall, as legendary as he was.
Listen.
You just slip, man. You slip.
What do you retire into? No, who wants to go home and just stay at home for forever? Yeah, you have to retire into something, and it's probably not that you want to retire into.
Barbecuing and barbecuing. That's what I could see me. Yeah, I could see me.
You can retire now and go do that.
Trust me, it's been kicked around. It has been kicked around. Now, you know what? I love what I do too much. Seriously, I love coming here.
Mm-hmm.
I love. I can't wait to go to Wayne State again. I'm not like.
That's funny. I bet Pat loved it too.
Joique, there's a countdown clock. I'm sure you know this on the Wayne State website.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And they have a countdown clock until the home opener and everything. And it's like every few days I go look at it because it's like, it's been so long and everything. Yeah, I'm sure Pat did love it too, but it was
coming up.
It was over.
It was over.
It was.
Adam, do you want to retire soon?
Adam, you're just getting started, dude.
No, fuck that. I'm out at 32.
No, but in this business, man,
all right, put the camera on
you
Adam so
were
people can see
made
what
for
Adam
this
is.
business. You don't know it. No, I think you do know it. You were made for this business, okay?
I was made for a lot of things, Sean.
Talking to the mic.
No, I mean, there's a lot to do in this business. There's a lot you want to do with this network, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's my baby.
That's
It's
exactly.
everything.
Yeah. So
Right.
it's sometimes it's funny we kind of came upon this where Pat Summerall passed away. He's one of the greatest broadcasters ever. Period. End of story. But he was a guy that once it started to slip, Joique, it was painful to listen to, and he was kind of
Was it one of those things where you just?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Richard said, early Pat was great. Late Pat, it was difficult to listen to because you're hearing a guy who was once great, like just struggled to say things and get names wrong, and he called Ole Miss. You know how they call Ole Miss, Mississippi, Ole Miss. He called them Ole Mills. Exactly. Yeah, I can see you wincing right now. Yeah, he Ole Mills 10, Texas 7. And it's like, Ole Mills? What? There's no Ole Mills here. So that's why a wiseacre like me has called Mississippi Ole Mills for about a decade now. What game's on today? Florida and Ole Mills. And so people that don't know me real well will go,
You're a jerk.
Ole Mills, and I'll go, Ole Miss. So you know what's weird though? Here we had a legend in town, Ernie Harwell, right? Ernie Harwell. Ernie didn't slip too hard. In Ernie's mind, he slipped hard, and that's why he walked away, right? And I think that at the end of the day, that's all that matters. But Ernie, you could listen to Ernie until nearly the end, and Ernie sounded like Ernie, And for so many people, and I'm sure you're the same way, I mean, to me, I still, when I hear Ernie Harwell's voice, you know what? And now, especially with my father passing, it'll be a double whammy because I always think of driving in the car with my dad or chilling in the backyard on a Sunday afternoon. Like whenever I hear Ernie's voice, that was the soundtrack of summer for me, And so it brings back those memories of you being a little kid and everything. So it's a nice feeling to have. But in Ernie's mind, he had started to slip. So it was time to go. It's almost like, as athletes.
As athletes.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. You got to kick me out. I'm going to keep stealing. We had guys who were still like they'll still be playing, but we all knew that they didn't really want to play too many plays. They just want to get in for certain plays, and they wanted to just stay healthy. They wanted to be good in the locker room. And when they do play, when they do have to play a lot, they will. If they get hurt, we go in the locker room. They're not playing because they're hurt. You know what we say? We'll say, you're stealing. You're stealing right now. Hey, steal as much as you can. Steal as much as you can.
There were guys.
Be available.
Just
be available.
I'm not going to mention any names, but I saw guys that you knew that this was it, that they were playing out the string, and I feel the exact same way that you do. If somebody's willing to pay it, and you're not, betraying your teammates, God bless you.
Yeah.
Get that money.
Exactly.
Get that money.
Yeah, as long as only thing I can ask for you is all you got.
Yep.
That's all. That's the only thing I can ask for.
You know what's funny? Wayne Gretzky, in my mind, the greatest hockey player I ever saw. Wayne Gretzky, was he the Wayne Gretzky of 10 years earlier? No. Was he a guy that could have still played in the league? Absolutely he was. And the way that he walked out, I don't know if people remember, there was not this long buildup to, oh my gosh, it's Wayne's last year or anything. He basically said with a few weeks left to go, I'm done. You know, here he is, a guy that did so much for the game. If anybody should have had that farewell tour where everybody's giving gifts to him, you know, when he comes into the arena for the last time. No, he just said, and it was interesting because people said, when did you make this decision? And he said, you know, I talked to my dad, and my dad asked me, he said, are you sure this is the right decision? And he said, Dad, they're bigger, stronger, faster. The idea of going to camp 6 months from now is just so revolting to me. I knew I was done. I knew I was done. And so a lot of times, Joique, it's not what we can see. Do you still have game in you? Absolutely you do. But you know what you've told me multiple times? Exactly what you're doing. And that, you know what? That's good enough for me. Yeah. That's good enough for me.
You know, I started back up training, but it's definitely not football training. It is not football training at all. But it's things about the game that I do miss, and it's things about the game that makes me say, I'm good where I'm at. I'm good. The things that you miss the most about the game is what we just had a few minutes ago when we had Tully on the show. Us letting loose is just kind of talking, having that brother, you know, where you can go to, you guys laugh, joke, and you guys make the best out of the time you are together in that locker room, right? And so those are the things you miss the most. Not everything else. Not everything else.
Dude, much love to you. I'm a human being. I want other human beings to be happy. You know, and I'm serious. I've always felt that way. And, you know, selfishly, I think a lot of times people want to keep seeing guys play. But you know who knows better than anybody when it's done? You. You know better than anybody.
Right.
You know. And if you're at peace with it, who the hell am I to say, Joique, try to give it one more kick at the can? No. I want you to be at peace, brother, you know?
For sure. I have a question for you, right?
Yes, sir.
Because this came up, and are you a bigger, if you played, right, would you rather be known for the rings you got or for your talent on the field?
As a player?
As a player.
I'd rather win.
You'd rather win?
As a player.
As a player, you'd rather win.
I'd rather win.
So, would you rather have the career that Edelman had or the career that Calvin had?
That's an interesting question because I think there's two ways to look at it. As if I was playing, I'd rather have the rings. If I was playing. I don't care about the individual accolades, but to say you and I walking down the field every day, walking through life every day going, Joique, you know what? We're Super Bowl champions. They'll never take that away from us. You can diss me all you want and say that my numbers were a product of this or a product of that, but the one thing you can't ever take away from me is that championship. You can't ever take that championship away from me.
You know what else you can never take away from me?
What's that?
Hall of Fame.
Never.
You can never take that away from me.
Never.
I mean, Edelman was a very, very good player.
Not a chance in hell he's going to the Hall of Fame.
Not a chance.
No way.
And so you'd rather have the championship than the Hall of Fame? Give me the Hall of Fame, baby.
Yeah? You want the Hall?
I want the Hall of Fame, and I want the ring if it's here in Detroit.
Now, as a fan, because I haven't had...
I want a ring. I say here in Detroit, I want both. I want the ring, and I want I want the Hall of Fame. But if I had to choose between Edelman's career and Calvin Johnson's career, Edelman was a dog, but there's no comparison on who had the most talent.
Oh, gosh. Calvin was such a better player, period, end of story.
Yeah, but Edelman was, he was just a playmaker, though. He was very versatile. You can put him back there. He can take punt returns back. He was very hard to cover. And then you got a guy that's 6'4", 6'5", 245 pounds, running a 4.3 40. I mean, just big hands, great routes. You can get open. To me, I would say Calvin's a better player, and I would say Edelman probably had a better career when it comes to winning. But, at one point in time, when we had the Super Bowl, Edelman was one of the reasons why they were able to stay in the game. I mean, he could not be. They couldn't hold him. They couldn't hold him at all. And so I like Edelman. I never met him. Never trained with him, but I have trained with some Patriots players in the past. And one of the players that I did train with was it Wes Welker? Mm-hmm. And he was an animal when it came to training. Animal. I mean, I remember we were running sprints, and he just was like he was a soccer player. He just ran the same speed the entire time. And like, there's no way this guy is not tired. Yeah, I couldn't keep up, and he had his helmet on top of that, and I mean, freaks. I mean, the way they work out and the way they train there, it's crazy.
Now, you know what? I mean, I'm going to say this again because we're in Detroit. In Detroit, we haven't experienced a ring yet. I mean, so that's always I'm not going to lie to you. That's always my first thing. And it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. You know, I had my grandfather from Thanksgiving of 1980. And I know I've told you the story before. I'm watching the Lions-Bears game, Thanksgiving 1980. I'm a little kid. The Bears score a touchdown on the last play of the game, to tie the game, okay? The game's going into overtime. The Bears return the opening kickoff in overtime for a touchdown, right?
Right.
I'm devastated. I'm sitting over at my grandma's house, burying my head in the pillow on the couch, crying. It ruined my Thanksgiving, and my dad and my grandfather are laughing. And that was like the worst thing that can happen. Like, why are you laughing?
Okay.
I felt like they were laughing at me. So I'm not about to ask my dad why he's out laughing. I asked my grandpa, what? I don't get it. What's funny? And he picked me up, put me on his lap, and he said to me, Sean, you'll understand it when you're older. This is this franchise. They're never going to win anything your entire lifetime.
Okay, hold on. So let's do this. So you rather have Edelman wins in his career. Who do you think will have a bigger legacy? Who do you think will have a bigger legacy in the NFL when they're playing? I'm
Calvin
asking.
all day.
All day, right?
He's one of the greats of all time.
So we sit here and we say he has the biggest legacy, and you don't care about the legacy. You just want the ring.
I want the ring.
You want the ring because that's part of a legacy.
Because it's what I never had.
It's what you never had.
I just want it once.
You never had a legacy, but you never had a legacy either. Sean, you never had a legacy either, though.
You know what? Then I have my own legacy. I have that one ring, that one time, and that'll be my own legacy.
But say you was on a team, but you wasn't a part. You didn't play a major role in getting that ring. No, Edelman did play a major role in getting that ring, so I'm not gonna say he.
Okay.
All right, and that's not what I'm saying. But you rather have those rings than a legacy because your legacy is never gonna die either. It's never gonna die.
I would rather. Just me personally, yes, I'd rather have the rings.
I want both.
Well, of course you do. You didn't tell me both was part of it.
You didn't. Hey.
Oh, I don't get both.
You didn't ask.
I have to get one or the other.
You didn't
Joique
ask.
Bell gets both.
Hey, you didn't ask.
No, I would want. No. Well, you know what, Joique? All right, when we
Close
come
mouth don't
back,
get
I'm
fed.
going to give you a perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you a perfect example.
Okay.
Of something. Okay.
All right. Before we go, I'll tell you about HOF Financial.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Can we talk some finance?
Yes. D Hall, what up?
We've been talking financial literacy for a little bit on the show, so I want to tap into this. When was the last time you checked your interest rate? If it's over 3%, then you need to call HOF Financial for a free 5-minute mortgage checkup and tell them Woodward Sports sent you. That's right. Tell them Joique sent you. They'll take care of you. HOF Financial is fast, and they do all of the heavy lifting. So go to davidhallmortgage.com and get started now. Not tomorrow. Now. HOF Financial. Lower payments, better options, and more personal attention. Stay tuned. Joique Bell, Sean Baligian.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
All right, I got a perfect example for you. So we're talking about this Julian Edelman, Calvin Johnson thing. And listen, you guys.
Give them the full rundown.
Calvin Johnson's a better wide receiver. We all know that. Calvin Johnson's infinitely better. It's disrespectful to even say Julian Edelman's name in the same sentence as Calvin Johnson. But
I wouldn't say it's disrespectful.
It's
not disrespectful.
But listen. Okay, Julian Edelman had a heck of a career. Julian Edelman obviously won a slew of championships, was part of, a dynasty that there's nothing to compare it to in National Football League history.
I don't want to have this conversation because they would have won a championship with or without Edelman.
Absolutely.
They would have won it.
He was part of it, okay?
He was part of it. And so.
Can I ask you something, though?
Yeah.
You're interesting. This is what popped into my brain as we were having the conversation, okay? You're interesting.
Okay.
I'm going to embarrass you here, but so what, okay? You're Wayne State football.
Right.
You are. Joique, you're Wayne State football.
No.
Yes, you are. You put Wayne State on the map.
Wayne State put me on the map.
You are by far the biggest name to come out of Wayne State, although congratulations to Derice. I'm sure you saw Derice sign with the Cardinals, which is pretty cool and outstanding wide receiver, wore the number 1 very, very well. Joique, you had all these roses. You had the D2 Player of the Year, the Harlan Hill out there for people that don't know, but yet it was a team 2 years after you that kind of got all the accolades as a team.
Yeah.
Now, they weren't able to go win it all. They came this close, but they went all the way to the championship and everything.
Lost their 2 star players in the championship game.
It's just awful. But it was funny as we were having this conversation, I couldn't help but think of you because I think you're the type of guy that this very conversation is about. You are a legend at Wayne State. Okay? I'm not even going to look at him because I know he's going to get embarrassed. He's the type of guy, like, everybody knows when he's on campus. You're going to have to trust me. Joique's here. Joique's here. Hey, did you know Joique's here? Hey, would you want to interview Joique if Joique is here and all that stuff? And I always say the same thing. If Joique wants to talk, he can always talk to me. Maybe Joique just wants to be here to watch the football game. Maybe Joique just wants to be here to watch the basketball game. If Joique wants to talk to me, he can talk to me. Don't leave the man alone. Leave him alone. Let him watch a game. He's visiting his, some old teammates, the coach or whatever. So that's always my response. And that goes for now, Joique. You come back. You can always come say hello to people. If you just want to watch a football game, leave the man alone. He's done his business. But it's funny to hear that conversation because as we were talking, I was thinking about that. Here, you and your brothers literally laid the foundation of that program. You did. Brick by brick, you laid that foundation. You got your teeth kicked in multiple times, right?
Right.
During your career, you did. You guys got your teeth kicked in.
Yeah.
Well, not early in your career, Coach Winters told me some about some of the early games and everything.
Yeah, we went 6-5 my first year.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. But then you went like this, and you put in all this work, and you got to see somebody else kind of, win the GLIAC the year after you leave. Go make this crazy run in 2011. How does that make you feel? Because you're kind of the Calvin Johnson of Wayne State football. No, seriously, dude. You got all the roses.
That was some high.
You got all the roses. You're the Hall of Famer, and yet you didn't get a chance to win like a team did just a year after you left.
Yeah, that sucks.
Does that bother you though?
No, of course not.
Yeah.
Because listen, so I always pay homage to the people who came before me, like the Chris Middlebrook, the Jake Weigardens, the Nick Bodie's, the Leo Wells, the Alan Clays, the guys that were on the team when I got there as a freshman, the Darren Hayes.
Yeah.
And so these guys were there before I was there, and they kind of started this culture there, and they weren't winning, but they had fight. And so I remember Michigan Tech came down. They were ranked number 9, and they brought them down for homecoming. So we have to play a ranked score for our homecoming, and they won, and they beat them. We beat them right there on Soldier Field. I think this was the last year. It was on grass, and then they put in a new turf, and then the following year was our first winning season in 30 years. And so that's kind of where we kicked off. And then by the time we graduated, we were the winningest class in Wayne State history. And then the next year they beat that. And then the next year they went to the championship after that. And I remember I was actually at that game. Were you
I remember
there?
that. Yeah.
I was actually at that game.
That was another game. Would you like to talk to Joique? If Joique wants to watch the national championship game, I'm going to let Joique watch the national championship game. But you being the cool guy you are, you taped an interview that day. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that.
Yeah, I think I came. I think they. I went on the field actually, and I was on the field talking to.
You were talking to Lisa.
I was on the field. And I was talking to Josh Rennell.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think this is after he. I think he broke his foot. And I was just trying to give him some encouragement on the sideline, and because I knew how tough it was. Troy Burrell broke his collarbone.
Yep.
He was out, and at that time, Troy Burrell was I think the #1 receiver in the country with receiving yards, and he was electrifying. And then Josh was the only person in D2 history to take the opening kickoff back for a touch.
Yep.
And I think, did he have 2 touches that day? Because he took a punt return back, I think, too.
I know he had the opening kickoff return, and then he got hurt too. So
yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember, but it was a good game. I just wish they both would have stayed healthy, because it would have been I'm not gonna say it would have changed the outcome, but it would have been more interesting.
You know what's interesting, and if Troy's watching, maybe Troy will remember this. You can ask Troy this. Troy, I was talking to Troy after the game, and he didn't know if he had a broken collarbone or not. He was going to go home and look at it and everything. And I said, do you want to find out really quickly? And he was like, yeah, what do you mean? I said, do me a favor. I said, tell me your number 1. Tell me your number. Go like this and tell me your number 1. He couldn't put up his hand and go like that. I go, you broke your collarbone. And he goes, seriously? And I go, yeah, I've done it. My son did it. I said, that's the one thing that I said, take it out of it, because he had it in a sling. Mm-hmm. And I go, tell me your number 1. He goes, what do you mean? I go, I want you to go like this. Put your hands up and go, Troy Burrell, number 1. So he put the hand up like that, and he put the other hand up, and it stopped right there. I go, you got a broken collarbone. Yeah. Like that. So he was like, how'd you know that? Dr. Baligian, right? No, but all jokes aside, that was, because that's what they did with me, and they did it when my son broke his collarbone as well. So it's weird how that happens. But no, it's funny. Here we're having this conversation. In case you're just joining us, I don't even know how this started. It was in we have a crazy text ring or whatever it's called.
Group.
A group text,
chat.
whatever.
Group chat.
I sound 80 right now.
Group chat.
But these guys were going back and forth, and I caught it about halfway through the day, and there was this Edelman versus Calvin Johnson argument, and I was like, knock it off. Like, knock it off. Calvin Johnson's infinitely a better wide receiver, but as you can see, that was kind of whose career would you rather have? And it's an interesting question.
It's not interesting. It's not interesting. Tell me another wide receiver that played.
Like, are you talking about great wide receiver?
No, that played for the Patriots. Tell me another one that played.
Wes Welker.
No.
Deion Branch. Randy Moss.
Yeah, Randy Moss. I guess.
Randy didn't win a title with him, though, right? Randy was on the great team, but I don't think he won a title with them.
No, but that's not. I'm looking for another receiver. Give me. Say you can pick any receiver.
Okay.
You can pick any receiver.
All right.
Would you rather have that receiver career, or would you rather have Calvin's career? And say that receiver won, say 2 rings.
Oh, if you're talking about, if you include a ring, then yeah all bets are off. Yeah. If Calvin Johnson with 1 ring versus Wes Welker or Julian Edelman with 37 rings. Yeah, you know what? If you're including a ring, all bets are off.
I wouldn't want it. No, I would rather have Calvin career, and I'll tell you why. It's not because Calvin's Calvin, right? I want to go to a team, right? I want to go to a team that doesn't have a winning culture and bring a winning culture to that team. Now, he didn't win a championship, but he did win a lot of games and brought a lot of pride to this community, all right?
Look at the break on that ball.
Look at it.
Jeez, oh,
You know, just, you know, and Calvin's probably one of the most athletic receivers or players I've ever played with. The way that he's able to turn his body in the air to make these type catches right here, and to be able to go, I mean, he was wide open here. And just get off me, little boy. And just walk. Just a walk in. Just a walk in. You know, I got you. Just a walk in. Just you know, yeah. Just a walk in. You know, and I don't know if you have the play on there when they played against the Bengals, and he caught the kind of like the Hail Mary from Matthew Stafford. But like plays like that, I mean, this just consistently. He just always play after play, game after game. Always came through and make plays. And so I would rather have his career because he came to a team, he was on a team that didn't have a winning culture. He helped to build something here. He brought pride and made us say we are Lions fans. You know? And I appreciate him for that. And so for me, I would rather have Calvin's career because he came here and he did something great, and now he's in the Hall of Fame. And guess what? He didn't win a Super Bowl. But guess who did win the Super Bowl? Edelman. Is Edelman going to the Hall of Fame?
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
By the way, hold that thought for just a second. I think we have a guest in the aquarium, so let's shift to the aquarium right now. We've got fish and Corey with a K, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, Corey?
What up, though? Yo, you know, the other day, me and Joique, you know, when I was filling in for you, we were talking about which players would we like to see on, you know, teams and whatnot. Well, we got breaking news. Dwayne Wade has purchased ownership in the Utah Jazz.
Wow. Good for him.
Here, a quote from D. Wade: "This goes way beyond the dream I had just to play basketball. If this partnership is going to be anything like my relationship with Ryan Smith, of you know the Ryan Qualtrics, then there's going to be some things that I want to be involved in." So D. Wade, 3-time NBA champion, thought he would have did something with the Heat, but now he's one of the owners of the Utah Jazz.
Good for him. You got a big smile on your face when that means something to you, doesn't it?
It does. It does. It means a lot. It means a lot when like kind of totally say how a guy can transition from playing into the real world and be just as, if not more successful in the real world than they were in their athletic profession. And so stuff like that, it means a lot to me because that's just something that I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about a lot of things, and things that I'm passionate about, I'll talk about it on the show. You know how I feel about it. And when I said a teammate of mine who I would like to see be an owner of the Lions, I actually said Rob Sims. I think Terry, I think might have said Barry Sanders. And for a guy like Dwayne Wade to go and purchase or to buy part of a team and have ownership and part of a team is that's a huge step for athletes. Huge step. And so you hear about the Magic Johnson, but D Wade, that's who I grew up watching. Like that's who I grew up watching. So it's great to see him making major moves.
You know what's interesting? I think one of the things that tells me that maybe life and society were going in the right direction, and I don't want anybody to misconstrue, we have a lot more work to do, okay? We have to undo a lot of injustices over the years, but Joique, to hear African-American guys getting into ownership in sports, that's awesome. That's something, when I was younger, you didn't hear that.
No, you didn't.
It was always the rich old white guy. Think of who's the rich old white guy in your mind. That was an owner of a team. You know, that's what you always thought of. So that tells me that, you know, maybe we're starting to do some things as a society, right?
We are, slowly but surely.
Lots of work. Lots of work.
Yeah, this is just we're just scratching the surface. We're just scratching the surface. I'm not even gonna say the sky's the limit because there's space. So we'll see what happens.
That's great.
Yeah.
Kenny, here's an interesting question. I had an up-close and personal look for both of these guys. Kenny said, it's like asking, who would you rather have, Emmitt Smith's career or Barry Sanders' career? That is a great, great question. And let me tell you why that's a great question. And here, Joique, you're a running back, so you can appreciate this, okay? Barry Sanders is generally regarded by a lot of people, including running backs, as being the best, the greatest. That's it, okay?
All the time.
Emmitt Smith has the rings. Emmitt Smith has the rushing mark. You know, Emmitt Smith has all those things, right? Yeah. He's got the rings. He's got the MVPs. He's got the, all those roses. But you know what? You never hear anybody say, even as the all-time leading rusher in the National Football League, nobody says Emmitt Smith's the greatest of all time.
No, he's not. But I respect him, though. I respect everything that Emmitt does. Emmitt was a hard-nosed, tough runner behind the all-pro line. What year did Barry Sanders have an all-pro line? Don't worry, I'll wait.
Yeah. He had a good line. He had a good line.
I didn't say he didn't
but
have a good
line.
I
know.
I'm not.
Yeah, he had a good.
Asking you, tell me what year.
You're right.
Did we have an all-pro line?
It's so funny because our mutual friend Lomas says the same thing all the time. He goes, I don't want people to think that he was running behind some crap line, but there were two different. Dallas had literally an all-pro line.
They had an all-pro line.
Literally.
You're right. I didn't say we didn't have a good line.
Yeah.
Because I want people also to understand this about Barry. Barry has more lost yards than any other running back
crazy.
in NFL history. This is crazy.
Just absolutely.
And then come back around and play 10 years, just 10, and these other running backs play 15 plus years, and they had to play that amount to get the rushing record. And Barry played 10 years, and did he have it at one point in time?
No, he could have caught. He could have.
But he just retired to say, just walked away.
He was. I think he was trailing Walter at the time, and then he walked away after the '98 season. And Emmitt went past him and past Walter like 3 years later. It was like 3 years later that Emmitt kind of became the man, because Emmitt came in 90, and Barry had been drafted in '89. So Barry had that head start. So it took Emmitt a couple years to pass Barry and to pass Walter and eventually get that mark and everything.
Yeah, because the mark right now is what? What's the mark right now, Fish, for a rushing record? Is it 18,000?
I think it's 18, 19 maybe for Emmitt. Yeah, we could look that up.
Yeah, look it up real quick, because I think Walters might be at 16, 17.
Yeah, I think he's at 17.
Emmitt does have the record.
Yes,
at 18,355 yards.
18,000. Yeah, 18,000.
So
and Walters at what, 16?
Walter He's got 16,726, and then Frank Gore's got 16,000.
Isn't that unbelievable?
Right, where's Barry?
Not in the top three.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, if Barry would have played,
Barry's number 4, 15,269.
If Barry played one more year, he'd have passed Walter. Yeah, he would have been the all-time. He would have been the all-time leading rusher.
Yeah.
At the time.
He definitely would.
I mean nothing to him. Seriously, that wasn't Barry Sanders. Look at the way he celebrated touchdowns. Didn't mean anything to him. All right, here you go, guys. Kind of like, get this football away from me, right? He was phenomenal. I think I told you this. My dad loved Gale Sayers. My dad said, and I didn't see Gale Sayers.
I didn't see him.
Yeah, but he would say all the time. He would say Barry Sanders and Gale Sayers. They just were different than anybody ever watched. They just did things with their body and the way they could move. They did things, and it's interesting because both of them had that short career. They had that short career. It's amazing how that works out. Corey said Barry retired. Wait a second. Hold on a second. Barry was going to break it, but he retired. He was going to break it that year. They had a special celebration in Madden that year if the Lions broke the record with Barry Sanders, but Barry retired before he was still in the game. Yep, that summer of '99. It was.
Has there been a
I was at work.
Let me ask you a question. Has there been a running back in NFL history that's put up over 1,000 yards every single year, and then also incorporated a 2,000-yard season into there as well.
And a 2,000-yard season?
Yep, yes. 1,000 every year and had 2,000 yards within that 10-year career.
Well, let's see. Dickerson went over 2,000. OJ at the end was bad. Jamal Lewis is another one that, like, when it fell off, it fell off. Eric Dickerson was phenomenal, but he's another one. Like, it just went like this. Like, when it was done, it was done.
That's my dad's favorite running back.
Yeah, he was phenomenal. I think he's underrated. Mr. Bell, if you're watching, I think Eric Dickerson's a guy that, for whatever reason, as time has passed on, people don't talk about Eric Dickerson as much.
Yeah, I think the last time they were really talking about him is when Adrian Peterson was going for his record.
Yeah.
And I think AP could have got it, but you remember they stopped running him at the end because I think he needed. I can't remember, but I think one more run he probably could have broke out a long one. But that's the last time I heard them really harping on Eric Dickerson.
You know who I don't think got his roses recently? Just one man's opinion.
Who?
LaDainian Tomlinson. I really don't. I don't think people talked him up enough. He was phenomenal. I loved Tomlinson. I had a big giant fat head of Tomlinson.
And you
down
know what
my
it
basement.
is though? That comes to the business side of it, right? So when there's always a new talent, new face, and it's more marketable. No one wants to talk about the old guys anymore. Nobody wants to pay homage.
You're absolutely right.
They don't want to pay homage.
You're right.
How do we not pay homage to the guys who paved the way?
Yep.
And so that's why I'm happy what the Lions are doing what they're doing. They're starting to bring a lot of the old guys back and make them feel like they're part of this. Make them feel like they're part of this franchise because we are. You know, we hold the Detroit Lions near and dear to our hearts. We want to see you guys succeed, and not even you guys. We want to see us succeed. We're a part of this team. We helped start a culture here, and we want to see it. We want to see it through. We want to see it through. You want to talk to us about the 8 Mile Vodka?
I always want to talk about 8 Mile Vodka. 8 Mile Vodka, born in Detroit. It is distilled in single 90-liter batches to allow for optimal quality control and care, then carbon filtered, aerated, and bottled at the perfect time to produce a subtle taste with smooth finish and a character all its own. This is an exceptional premium vodka that can be chilled and enjoyed straight or mixed to create an exceptional cocktail. My wife, my son swear by the Moscow Mule made by 8 Mile Vodka. Next time you're out, ask your bartender for an 8 Mile Vodka or pick up a bottle at Meijer. Always drink responsibly. George and everybody at 8 Mile Vodka do a fantastic job. George is my next door neighbor. He's got himself a great family, so you know, trust me when I say this, you're buying from a dude who's just a good family man as well. So thanks to 8 Mile Vodka for being a part of what we do. Thank you for joining us wherever you may be. He's Joique Bell. I'm Sean Baligian. This is Woodward Sports.
Morning, Art. Morning, D-Mac.
All right, welcome back in. Glad you could join us on a Friday here on Woodward Sports. Don't forget, finish your day off the right way with the hook. The hook coming up today at 3 o'clock. See, I got it right that time, Fish. I got it right. I always want to say 2 o'clock. Since we're off at 1 o'clock, I always want to say the hook starts at 2, but the hook starts at 3.
3 o'clock.
So I caught myself there. So make sure you check it out. There's always something going on with the hook. And it's going to be nice to see Art back with the hook. Hi, Art.
Yeah, just a heads up, too. There's a great thing going with the hook personality, Darren McCarty. I'm going to throw it up on the screen right now. He's doing a 420 celebration at Green Galaxy Meds right off of Center Road in Flint. There'll be a taco truck. Darren will be there. All the medicals that you could need and tacos. So
outstanding. Up in Flint, we appreciate that. Always appreciate D-Mac as
D-Mac
well.
Always. That fits D-Mac so well.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Yeah, it fits D-Mac so
Doesn't
well.
it?
Yeah.
Now,
Go enjoy yourself, D-Mac.
You just said a word in the middle of that, Art, and I'm interested to hear how did the word taco truck hit you during that? Because right now, doesn't a taco truck sound good?
I nothing. I don't feel like eating.
Really? See, that's why I asked you. That's why I asked.
No.
We've all been dealing with we don't have an appetite, right?
Yeah.
That's one of the strangest things
I
about.
have an appetite now.
Oh, you do? Is it back?
I'm actually about to go home and have me a taco when I get home. So I have.
Oh, does that sound good?
And so I have everything I need for the taco, and I have these cheese shells that basically you take cheese, you melt it down, let it harden, you turn it to a shell, and then you put everything that you'll put in taco in it. You just fold it up. It's delicious. Grandma, get that ready for me.
That sounds.
Yeah,
Art,
but-
we were just talking about that. Like last night was the first time that I've really had something. I was with family yesterday, and so I decided, you know what, I'm going to pick up a pizza. Nobody's going to worry about food, and so I picked up a pizza and got a salad and everything. And I hadn't eaten all day. It's like 5:30, and I was like, I don't know how well this is going to go down because literally I've been having Art. We were talking about it, like protein shakes, making shakes at home. Just taking a bunch of fruit and firing it and all that crap. And you know what? I had one slice and I was like, it's not bad. I'm gonna push it and have one more. And you know what? I only had 2 slices of pizza, which is nothing, but it went down okay.
Yeah.
And so I'm going, all right, maybe I can up the ante now. Maybe, if people come over for the barbecue, instead of cooking for people, I can actually eat some of it, you know? I'm going to try. We're going to try.
I feel like the only good thing that happened with COVID is we all look like models now. Like we all look. I said it to Joique earlier. I was like, Joique, you look different. Did you lose weight? And then Sean,
Hold
you
on,
look
let's all do the model. So here we go. So Sean, look in the camera. All right, hold up. Smile in the camera.
Blue steel.
All right, lift your eyebrows. Smile. Stop smiling.
Looks like really weird school pictures.
That's your model face.
This one right here?
Listen, listen. Is that right, Jordan? Is that right? Is it lift your eyebrows?
Smile.
I don't know what he's doing. Those are bedroom eyes. I don't know what those are. But no, it's like a meme where it says, lift your eyebrows, smile, stop smiling. That's your model face.
No kidding. No. That's funny. You look like Hannibal Lecter. See, I'm a smiley guy. I've always been a smiley guy. I know that. Yeah, when I stopped smiling, it's creepy.
Jenna said you had some WOP, went down nice and smooth. Huh?
You know what? I want some wings, but I got to be honest with you. I'm afraid of wings. Isn't that weird? Like taco truck sounded good. Taco truck sounded really good.
Yeah, it does.
But wings right now? Yeah, not so much.
All right, it's another week. You'll be back to it.
My thing is I didn't realize how long I could go without eating. Like I went 5 days without eating.
So you had nothing?
Nothing for 5 days. I had Gatorade and water. Yeah. And like I have no interest.
Did it clear you out?
Yeah, I didn't use the bathroom. I mean, I peed obviously, but yeah, I mean, it was weird.
Oh
man.
no, that's weird for me because it cleared me out. I was drinking about 6 of these, 7 of these a day. Some days 8. All right, and it was just.
I would have a fruit smoothie in the morning, and I'm not joking. Within 15 minutes, I was in the bathroom. And then I would have a little Mrs. Grass chicken noodle soup. And when I say a little, I mean a little. And that was like my food for about 7 days. Like that was, I would have the protein drink in the morning, and then like one of the packets of Mrs. Grass, but I didn't even come close to eating the whole thing. It's like this chicken noodle soup with like the little tiny, like almost like strudel noodles.
Okay.
That are really, that was my favorite.
Sean, you had mentioned the
Birmingham roast.
You had mentioned the stomach thing. Talk about the stomach, because you and I had a similar symptom of feeling like you had.
Joique, you know what it felt like? It felt like somebody took their arms and wrapped their arms around my midsection, right? Like from about my lower GI to just under my breastplate, and were squeezing me. And it was it wasn't uncomfortable as much as it was
comforting.
It was. I wish it was comforting. No, it was somebody saying, "You're not eating a damn thing." Like I'm not letting any food past here. So it's funny when Art and I were talking about. He had the same thing. It was really. It was like you were holding me from behind, just going, "Dude, you're not eating."
Oh, that's probably Trisha.
It was weird.
Was Trisha squeezing you?
What's that?
I said
no one squeezes me. No.
You know what? We got some Mrs. Grass fans out there, by the way. Lynn said, Sean, I love you even more. Mrs. Grass is the best ever. I grew up on it. Charlie said, Mrs. Grass is the only kind of chicken noodle soup to eat. Extra noodles.
Well, we couldn't afford that, so we used to have the ramen noodles. We used to kill the chicken. But we used to dapper it up, though.
Yeah?
We used to dapper it up. Oh, yeah. I used to make, so in college, on those hard nights, we'll take some ramen noodles. We'll put all the different seasons in there, and then I would toast some bread. I don't even think I toasted, but I would grab some bread and I would make noodle sandwiches.
For real?
Yeah, with a lot, and I have like a lot of juice in there, and I'll dip it in there.
Oh, that sounds good.
I used to do that.
I love ramen to this day. I don't. Now, the one thing I can tell you, I ate so much when I was in college and working my way up.
Yeah.
I cannot eat macaroni and cheese to this day. I can't do it. I ate it so much.
That's weird.
No, I ate it so much. Like my kids love the Kraft macaroni and dinner, right? The macaroni and cheese dinner.
Yeah.
And I'll make it for them and everything. And like my son brought it up to me maybe 10 years ago. He goes, Dad, how come you never eat macaroni and cheese? And I said, I ate it so much because it was like when I was in college, it was like 19 cents or whatever for a box.
Yeah.
So
that much?
Dude, I ate it so much that, like, honestly, I see it now, and it just, like, it's revolting to me. I wish I could explain it to you, but I ate it that much that, and it's funny because my kids love it. My kids absolutely.
So you can't
love
eat mac and cheese either.
I do. No, you know what? If you make a good like homemade baked mac and cheese or something, there's a difference between that.
Grammy Whammy's making some now.
Yeah,
She's
that's
at the house right now. I said, Grandma, before you leave, Grammy Whammy, or before me and my son leave tomorrow, heading to Colorado, going little father-son ski trip.
Good for you.
It'll be fun.
Good
It'll
for
be a lot
you.
of fun.
Good for you.
See how many times he fall. I can't wait to record it. I can't wait. But I said, Grandma, I need that home-cooked meal before we head out. I need it. And so we went shopping yesterday. Got some yams. Grabbed her some greens. Grabbed her some mac and cheese. We didn't grab chicken, Jordan. We didn't. We grabbed something. We grabbed something else. We grabbed something else for you. Relax. We got you. Grabbed an apple pie, a Dutch apple pie. My grandpa made me get the Dutch apple pie. We grabbed the last one. We grabbed the very last one. Oh yeah, so we grabbed that. And I was on keto, but I'm not on keto today.
Grandma said we are in the kitchen right now. Isn't
Grammy
that great?
Whammy, we are in the kitchen now.
That's what I'm talking about.
My grandpa is in there peeling the yams, and then my grandma does everything else. But he peels the yams, and so when we get back, he probably gonna want to go fishing a little bit. So we might go fishing. And look, my son loves fishing. So
yeah.
Yeah. For some reason, he's just like me when I was his age. For some reason, I don't know where he gets that from. So that's kind of what we have planned. But before we go, we have one more break. Fish, what are you doing in there? Are you reeling yourself in? Are you really a surf fan right now?
No, but I could be.
Huh? Do you like fishing fish?
I've gone once, and my friend pushed me in the lake. So
Who tried to push you in the lake?
I don't know if you
he
can.
pushed you in the lake or tried to?
No, I was soaking wet, and this was like 10 years ago.
And you haven't, and that's how you got the name Fish?
No, that's
I'm
not
just
how I got
joking.
the name
I'm
Fish.
just joking, Fish.
But I got pushed in the lake.
One of my greatest memories with my father was getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning and going out on Lake St. Clair, and it was just one of those magical days where every time you put the line in the water, they bit. And it was funny. We talked about that a few days ago before he passed. Like I said, Dad, do you remember that one time you and I went out at 6 o'clock in the morning from Stony Point? I didn't even have to finish the story. I didn't even have to finish saying it. He said they just kept biting. And it was, I'll never forget that. It was just, and I'm sure you've had days like that there.
Yeah.
Some days you go out there and I mean, it's all you can do to get a couple fish. But there was one day, I must have been 7 years old, and my dad goes, every time we put the line in the water, they bit. And it was like something you see out of the Bible, like Jesus coming with this big thing full of fish and everything. I was going, they were listening today. I don't know what the deal was.
It was funny. So when I take my son fishing, he'll catch a fish, and I'm gonna tell you guys what he does when he catches a fish when we come back.
Oh, nice
Street Exchange, downtown Fenton. I'm trying to find me a shirt. Ooh, look at these swimming shorts. What are you doing over there, Stick?
I'm trying to find me a drink. Ooh, look at these bonfire bitters.
Ready for summer.
Let's
You're gonna
go.
come to the ball at work. Hey, Joique Bell, Sean Baligian. See you guys next weekend.
Thanks, Mike.
Oh, Bell soft. Wait till it comes to New Zealand. For that air.
Love that commercial.
Yeah,
Gosh,
you love
I
that
cannot get enough of that commercial. All right, now I'm intrigued. You teased everybody for we went to the break. What you got?
All right, so whenever we go fishing, all right, my son will fish, and this one particular day they were jumping, and so I said, hey, yo, throw your hook right here. So he threw it right there. He caught one, brought it up, and for some reason he doesn't like taking his fish off the hook. He doesn't like to touch the fish. He just like to catch them and then let me and my grandfather take it off the hook, and then we throw it back in. And so when we go fishing today, if he catches anything, he will be taking it off the hook himself.
Yeah. Did you guys hear that in the back? Ha!
But the thing is this: he is such a con artist because he's acting like he's trying to take it off the hook. He's acting like it, and we know he's not really trying to take it off the hook. He's just, I can't. Yeah. This is
great.
Every time though. Is that the last time we did was 2 years ago? But any time he catches,
Do you guys go fishing in Benton Harbor? You go out to Lake Michigan. What do you trolling for?
We're usually, what do we go for? Catfish.
Okay.
My grandfather loves to catch catfish, trout. What else? Bluegills.
Yeah.
Like it's so many. Like he's out there, and then we go out there. We go get the 1-day license or what we have to do.
Yeah.
And then, but the thing is, where I live, we're on a private canal, so we don't have to have a license. Cause we just go right in our canal and just.
Yeah, Sean asked. Sean said also, sorry for your loss, Sean. Thank you very much, Sean. You know what? On Lake St. Clair, Joique, probably on the other side of Lake St. Clair from where you're at now, it's Pointe aux Roches, Stony Point, where my grandfather's cottage was in Ontario. That's pickerel walleye land. That was all that we would get. I can't tell you.
I never caught walleye.
I can't. Oh, such good eating. It's such good eating. My grandfather caught a muskie out there, which was unbelievable.
We caught a muskie in our canal.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, we did.
We
threw it back because it has to be a certain size. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has to be a certain size for you to be able to keep it.
Yeah.
And so we actually took it and just threw it back in.
Grammy said crappies.
Yeah, so my son was there too. It was the first time he's seen one. Well, yeah.
All right.
It actually almost pulled my grandfather into the water.
Yeah, that's the same thing with my dad. It's my
almost
grandfather.
pulled him in the water.
Same thing. Isn't that amazing? All right, listen, we got to get out of here. Hey, have a blast. You guys basically taking off right from here?
No. So actually, from here we're about to go to the ski store right around the corner.
Oh,
and
no
then
kidding.
grab some stuff, and then we don't leave till tomorrow. We'll be back
Have a
Monday.
blast.
Yeah,
Are
appreciate
you
it.
kidding me? Have a blast.
Oh, yeah.
Arthur, it's great to see you again, my friend.
It's good to have you back, Art.
Really, it's great to make sure that you check him out at 3.
I can't wait for him to get back to himself because he's, because we haven't been talking back and forth today. He kind of knows his place now.
Fish, have a great weekend.
You too.
Appreciate you. Appreciate everything that you guys do. Yes, thank you.
Great
Most
weekend.
importantly.
Thanks for tuning in to the Baligian the Bell Show. Sean Baligian, Joique Bell, Jordan Bell is here as well. Art, Fish. See you guys next week.